have a question for you. I'm developing, this is talking about a game that I am going to talk about, not the unannounced one that we'll just work on quietly. But this is the one that I was going to start sharing and getting player feedback on. So this week, what I'm actually doing is I'm spending time building up the package that just sends you that. And so it's not gigantic. When you're working on a game, especially something like this, where I'm using a bunch of outside packages, like your depot is just gigantic. It has so much stuff in it. 99% of that stuff you're never going to use. And so when you want to actually share it, you got to get rid of that stuff. So you clear all that out and you have a version of the tree that is just exactly what you're going to ship. And in this case, I also have to remove some of the dressing around it, like the intro map and the startup and the setup, because while a lot of this game is mechanics that you're familiar with, it has wrapping around it that changes the context of it. One of the ideas for this game originally was, if you've played Inside, the whole beginning of Inside, if you think about it, there is no direction, there's no hinting. You just know what to do because you know games and you know the language that they're using. And so I want to use a similar language where you just know what to do. And so I have to play test that to make sure that that's coming through. But the actual how it fits in the context and the kind of the jokes around it, or the gags. I always say gags don't mean comedy always. Gags just mean whatever the context for that is will change. And I don't want to have that in here. I want to wait to release that when I release everything, or when I release more of it, for right now at least. So with that, here is the question for you. Would you rather me just release stuff as it becomes available and the kind of pacing be erratic? Because sometimes it'll be like this week, I thought I would already have this build ready, but the way Epic works, where you move files and how oh my God, it's such a nightmare. It is such a nightmare. So everything turns into a Unreal asset, right? It doesn't, not a raw file. So you can't use File Explorer, even though Google will tell you can. It's bad AI. Man, is AI bad. But it's just a mess to clean up. You can't, so if you get something from the marketplace, you can't say where to install it. It installs it into the base content directory, and then you can move it. And I move it all in this one place, and you got to move it back, but sometimes it won't. And don't ever just install anything into a robust game you already have, because some of those packages, especially the Quixel Bridge stuff, looking at you, Epic, is just thrown everywhere. Like it just everywhere across your directories. And you don't want that, right? And so you want to be a little bit more deliberate about it. And so I've got to clean that up and build that, and then build the build and test it. And I want to make sure that you can control like screen resolution and just some stupid stuff around that, which was easy enough to do, but still I just got to test all that and stuff. So it's not going to happen this week because it's a holiday week. We will be ending, like Thursday's our big holiday. So, I was going to spend time with the family. That said, other little surprise this week, if you can't see back behind, no, that way, now I'm hiding it. No, I'm not. Look at that. I'm going to talk about these and just the Anacrusis kind of stuff in general. Check out our Discord. But it was made by Jet, one of the mods. But yeah, I want to talk about that in a separate thing. But so the question really is like, do you want to have it more consistent, or do you want to just get it as soon as possible, stuff to interact with? Because I was just going to do it probably through Steam's, not early access, but testing thing, and not put it up on early access for a while. Though I'm going to do that earlier than normal, just because I think reading it seems to be the right way to do it. Man, I hate that. You can't just make games. You got to care about all this other crap. But so that's kind of going to be my approach. And also was trying to nail down the name. I thought I had the name, and then it came up that it may be problematic for trademark reasons. So I might do that thing of like, where you call it like Dog Park, A Tale of Two Tales. And you throw the Tale of Two Tales on at the end because you want to make sure it can be trademarked. And you don't want to trademark it because I don't care what you do with it. You just want to trademark it so that it's not exploited and weird or confused with something else, right? Really, I care for something like this more of not infringing on somebody else's and somebody infringing on mine. But then I just do that so that I have this place and I don't have to worry about infringing on somebody who changes their name to this later. So that's the other thing I'm working on. It's not exciting work often. This is really not the exciting days of development. But I did have that question of just pacing. Because I'm saving time to react to this in later. Like this week was to do the build. Next week is to do another level. Next week's to do another level. So I'm not going to be hand touching these continuously. I may spend like a half afternoon making adjustments just so I can get more feedback on it, but it's not going to be like constantly tuned like you would if it was a whole game. Which, as the minute I say that, makes me think I should hold off until I can incorporate feedback so you can understand that I'm listening to you, because I am listening. Like, I'm going to playtest the name. I was thinking playtesting the name before I trademarked it, but I have done that before and had somebody snatch up the Reddit page or the subreddit, the domain name. People are jerks. So we'll see. We'll go from there. But I'm kind of curious of how you think about that. Again, not early access. I'm not asking for money from you. I'm just asking how you want to peek in on development. And then a whole bunch of you don't want to. And that's cool, because that's how I am with most games. I don't want to know. I want to wait until it's done. And so this is going to be one that goes along for the ride. And so this is almost a question for our Discord, but I'll make it here because these videos are just a way to kind of keep me honest and keep me on track and kind of put my feet to the fire to be deliberate about it. So I keep cutting over here. White Sox just tied it up. Ugh. All right. Otherwise, if I don't talk to you before then, have a good holiday.